Yep. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we learned about how we can use JavaScript. JavaScript in many ways. We learned JavaScript integration. So integration with HTML, we have inline, we have embedded, and we have external file. We discussed about one more concept, that is how JavaScript minification works. We learned what is minification, how the minification concept works. What is minification? Minification means what is minification? What we discussed about minification. What is minification means? Minification is the way of compressing the logic. So compressing, that means without using any compression agents, we write logic in such a way that the number of lines are reduced and the file size will be reduced, right? That is what actually minification is, right? So we discussed how to minify the files and how to configure that. So when you are using JavaScript in external files, then we will not use directly the original files. We have two files actually. So we discussed one more point. So which file is used for development and for production and production? Which file is used for development and production? We discussed that point. So uncompressed files are used for development, and the minified files are used for production. So now actually one more concept is there, bundling. But bundling we will learn in later concept, not now, because to understand bundling you need to learn JSON. What is JSON and all, because bundling uses a concept of JSON modules. So many technical points are there. So we are going to learn about Webpack like concept at the end of the sessions, at the end of JavaScript, because for that you need to understand every area of JavaScript. Then only you can implement Webpacks, bundles. For that, lot of configuration means without understanding JavaScript settings, you cannot write JavaScript settings. For that, first you need to know JavaScript. So Webpack is a very important concept for bundles, but Webpack is not a concept for a fresher. So that is for experience. That means people who already know JavaScript. So we will discuss developing application using Webpack at the time, by the time we finish JavaScript. At the end of sessions, we will learn about that. Because actually, as I showed you already, Webpack is used for, this is Webpack, yeah. Webpack contains a lot of settings. You can see these are all Webpack settings. In the Webpack settings, you have to write modules. You need to configure modules. Without knowing ABC of modules, you can't write anything. You should know what is a module, what is a path configuration, how to use the paths. A lot of logic is required. So without knowing all the logic, you cannot develop a project with Webpack. You must have basic idea of understanding logics. That is the reason this you are going to learn at the end. At the end of the sessions of JavaScript, you will learn about bundling. As of now, up to now, minification is enough. You need to just have an idea on minification. So I hope everyone is clear up to this. That means in how many ways JavaScript is integrated into HTML. So 3 ways. Which one is best? Inline, embedded, external. That depends on the situation and the requirement. We cannot simply say that this is best. Why? Because depending on the situation and the requirements, we have to choose, right? Now, next, after understanding that, so today, so we are going to learn another concept. And another important you need to know is actually how JavaScript, that means how JavaScript controls HTML elements. So here another important question is how JavaScript takes control over HTML elements. How JavaScript takes control over HTML elements, how it will take control over HTML elements. For example, what we said, what is the role of JavaScript in HTML? What is the role of JavaScript in HTML? DOM manipulations. DOM manipulation means it is going to manipulate the DOM elements, document object model, DOM elements. So how JavaScript takes control over HTML elements? For example, suppose you learned CSS. So here concept is simple actually. Suppose you see this is our JavaScript project. Now in this JavaScript project, so here we are designing. So here we are creating, this is an empty page. In this, what we are doing is we are creating a image, IMG image. So this is a picture. And this image is having some width 100 and height 100 and image have a border. Now we have one form. This is a form is some, in that form we have register and we have your email and we have input type equal to email and we have a button, input type is equal to button. Now we have another form, another div, another form, and here we have login and so your mobile and some input type is equal to text. And here I am defining input type is equal to button. We just have some elements in the page. Now let's run this and see. These are the elements in the page. So these are the elements in the page. We are having these elements. Now in the page, we have a image. In that we are having an button, we are having text box. You can see we have an image, we have buttons and text boxes, but they are empty. Image is empty, buttons are empty. We want JavaScript to take control of this. And we want JavaScript to put an image. We want a photo to come. That means I want JavaScript to put one picture into it. I want JavaScript to put a value into this button. Why do you want like that? Why can't you write an image or some value? Because some elements have to change dynamically. For example, you allocated a place for a photo. Somebody uploaded a photo. That uploaded photo should display there. Is that photo standard? That photo is not standard. In that place, he can change the photo dynamically. That means we need to put a element for image, but image is not standard. It will be changing. Who have to control that? JavaScript. Buttons also. Suppose a button is showing like save. So after you saved, that same button should change to close. How a button can change itself? Suppose you create toggle buttons. Generally, you see toggle buttons. Toggle buttons means you see, for example, so here we are having some files. And you can see, suppose there is a button here. This is a date button, a name button, like this we have. In this button, there is an up arrow symbol. I click the button, then it will change to down arrow. And again, I click the same button, it changes to up arrow. And not only that, it is actually sorting the list. That means now the point is how a button can change its value. Once click one value, another click another value. Dynamically, it should change. So this is under the control of HTML, JavaScript. So the question is how JavaScript will take control over HTML, how it will handle those HTML elements. So while learning JavaScript, this is the second important thing you need to know. First thing you learned how to put JavaScript in page. Second one, how JavaScript can take control over HTML elements. There are so many techniques. First important technique is JavaScript. JavaScript can access HTML elements in page by using DOM hierarchy. By using DOM hierarchy. JavaScript can access HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. This is the first important concept. DOM hierarchy means already I told you how the elements are presented. How the elements are presented in the page. How the elements are presented in the page. Actually, in HTML, you might have learned. In HTML, you learned about DOM, document object model. Actually, the DOM looks like this. The DOM looks like this. You can see this is the JavaScript DOM. So this is how the DOM looks like. That's how the DOM looks like. You can see it looks like this. DOM looks like this. This is the document object model. I already explained the process. That means you write markup. Markup is converted into bytes. Bytes are converted into characters. Characters are converted into tokens. Tokens are converted into elements. Elements are arranged in this hierarchy. This is how HTML teaches you. That means HTML tells you this is how DOM is actually. Now, HTML presents like this. This is called DOM hierarchy. Now, in this, JavaScript can use this hierarchy. According to this hierarchy, it can apply, it can take control over HTML elements. JavaScript can use this hierarchy. For example, see now, JavaScript can take control over and it can handle this hierarchy. How? Observe carefully in this hierarchy. Actually, in our page here, we want JavaScript to apply some photo in this location. And according to DOM hierarchy, now tell me where is image? The order. Who is the parent for everybody? Who is the parent for everybody? The parent is window. In window, there is a object document. In that document, there is images. Now, this square brace indicates it's a collection of images. We call it as array. Images is a collection of images. That means there can be several images in a document. Then you can access multiple images, multiple elements. You can access by using index. That means now what is the hierarchy? Observe here. What is the hierarchy? Who is the parent? Window. In window, we have document. In document, you have images. And images is a collection. Array. How many images are there in our page currently? Only one image is there. So its index number is 0. That is how we can access an image. We can access images. Now tell me how to access a button present in form. See the hierarchy and tell me how we can access a button inside form. We have window. In window, we have document. In document, we have forms. Forms is an array. In our page, how many forms are there? 2 forms are there. One register, one login. I want to access second form, then 1. I want to access first form, then 0. And in that forms, we have elements. In the forms, we have elements. You see, in the form, there are elements. How many elements are there? In our form, first form, 2 elements are there. One is a text box, another one is a button. What is the index of button? Text box is at 0, button is at 1. That is how we need to refer the hierarchy. That means we have window in that document, in that forms, in that elements. In elements, how they are present in the form, according to that hierarchy, you need to access. This is called DOM hierarchy. This is document model. That is how the elements are accessed and elements are used. That means now let's write here. Now JavaScript can access HTML elements in a page by using DOM hierarchy. So we will go here and when to apply those images. Here I will put some picture. So we need some pictures. I will apply some picture. For example, where to keep the pictures? I will keep the pictures in a public folder. There is a public folder. In the public folder, I will put a new folder called images. In images folder, we will put some image. Here we will add some image. That means I will open in Explorer. You know general HTML, how pictures are kept and used. Now I will copy some picture here. So we have some images and I will copy some image. There are some images. Suppose I will copy an image, some shoe. Okay. I will put this image here. that is the image, that is shoe is an image. Now what we want to do is we want this image to be applied by JavaScript. That means currently the image place is empty. So you can see the image place is empty. We want JavaScript to take control and put some image. And when it should happen, when it should apply at the time of loading the page. So we will write here body. In the body, we will write an event onload. Onload means at the time of loading the body. At the time of loading the body, it will use a function called some body load is a function. This onload is a reserved event name. Onload indicates what should happen when page loads. You are going to learn about events in a separate session, all events. But initially we have to use some events while working with JavaScript. And body load is your own name. You can give any name. So onload, it will execute a function called body load. This body load function is not there anywhere in the page. We will go to index.js file. Here we will write a function. What is the function? So the function name is what? Body load. Now on body load, I want JavaScript to take control over image. How you can access that image? By using DOM hierarchy. So first window. In window, you have document. In document, we have images. And we have currently in the page only one image. Its index number is 0. And at that location, there is an image. And image. If you want to put a picture inside that image, then you have to use a property called src. Image, HTML image have src. What is src? src is, so it is in a folder. That means it is in a folder called public. In public, there is a folder called images. In that, there is an image called shoe.jpg. That is the image we want to apply. So this is the image we want to apply for that. Okay, now this index page, this index JavaScript must be used in our index. So here we will link that. How do we do? Script type is equal to text JavaScript, and the script source is coming from which location? It is coming from, so src. In src, we have scripts. In scripts, we have index.js. Now you can see that the body load image is applied. So JavaScript is taking control over the image. Not only source, if you want, you can adjust width, you can adjust height, you can set any attribute. For example, I want to adjust the width and height. Then what you do is, again, same, window.document.images of 0 dot what, so width is equal to some 300. That means I am applying the width 300. I can adjust the width, I can adjust the height. We can apply any attribute we want. We can apply any attribute. So this is how JavaScript takes control over HTML. This is DOM hierarchy. DOM hierarchy. Now, I need to put a value inside this button. So how to put a value inside this button? Now how to access this button? So what is the hierarchy we have to use? What is it? Window. In window, we have a document. In document, we are having forms. How many forms are there in our page? 2. And first form is 0. In that elements, in how many elements are there in that form? 2 elements are there. Elements means form elements. Heading is also an element, but it is not a part of form. It is just kept inside the form. It is not a form element. Form elements means what? Buttons, text boxes, all these are form elements. How many form elements are there? 2. Where what is the index of button? Button index is what? 1. Email is at 0. This is at 1. So we need to put elements of 1. There we have a button. That is a HTML4 button. How to handle HTML5 button, I will tell you. So in HTML4 button, if you want to put any value, you have to use value. Value is equal to, suppose I said register, and you can see the button value is applied there. That is how JavaScript can take control over HTML. Suppose I want to apply login for the second button, then same. What we have to do? Window.document, document.forms. Forms of index number is 1. Second form. In that elements index also 1. In that value, I will put the value as what? Login. And you can see that value will be applied. That is how JavaScript takes control over HTML. We call this as what? DOM hierarchy. JavaScript can access HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. The DOM diagram I will upload into class. Online you will get it. You can just Google JavaScript DOM. You will get the complete diagram. Actually, in that diagram, we have window. So in that window, we have document. In the document, you have images. So images is a collection. You have like forms. Forms is a collection. Like that, lot of hierarchies are present. Now, what is good? What is bad? That means that is the hierarchy, DOM hierarchy. What is good and what is bad about this hierarchy? First important point, you should know that means about DOM hierarchy. It is faster. It is faster in accessing elements. It is faster in accessing elements because actually, because why it is faster? Because it is the native method. It is native method for JavaScript. It is the native method for JavaScript. That means JavaScript understands HTML in this way. JavaScript understands HTML in a hierarchy way, DOM hierarchy, and it is faster. But what is drawback? Drawback is nothing but if any element changes its position in page, then you have to update the index every time. Am I right? That means if any element changes its position, then index changes. Then you need to update the index every time. Otherwise, it will not work. That means, for example, what I have done, I moved this button from here and I kept the button before the text box. Then index number of button is now 0. Then you can see for text box, it is register. Then what I have to do? Again, I have to go to the logic, and here I need to change the index number of element as what? 0. And now it can work. Later you are adding some elements, removing some elements, or changing the position of element. This is always a problem. That means every time when an element changes its position, you have to update its index number in the logic. That is not good idea. But it is good if you want to access elements using index, because many times later while testing, later while doing complex operations, we want to access all buttons. We want to access all forms. We want to access all images. Then this DOM hierarchy becomes easy, because you just write a for loops and you pass the index number in the loop. It can read every item using a loop. That makes easy for working with the elements while testing and all. But this is not a good for daily practice. Why? Because element positions will be keep on changing. We will customize our designs. We will be changing our design. We will be adding some new elements into the page. In that case, every time we need to update the logic. That is what the drawback of this technique. So you can refer elements using DOM hierarchy. For this, I will give example. In this example, index.js. In index.js, this is the code I have to keep. Let me copy the code. That is the code. And we have one more. What is it? Index.html. In index.html, this is the code. Let me give you that code also. This is index.html code. This is the example of working with DOM hierarchy. So the first technique, JavaScript can access HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. Next, second important is another technique. You saw the drawbacks of this. What is another technique is JavaScript can refer elements by using name. JavaScript can refer elements by using name. DOM hierarchy problem is what? The position changing and index number should be changed every time. That is the problem with DOM. Now, what is another technique is you can use this name reference. That means actually every element can be defined with a name. And JavaScript can access element by using name. It can access element by using name. So without hierarchy. What is advantage? What is drawback? Again, problems will be there. See here. Now I am removing this logic on body load. I removed this. Now again page is empty. Now which element you want to use? For every element give a name. That means for image I am giving a name called pic. For this form I am giving a name called FRM register. For this button I will give a name called BTN register. Remember, you don't need to give name to every element. You can give name to the elements which you are going to refer. So every element doesn't require a name. Okay, next form name is FRM login. And the button have a name is what? BTN login. Now JavaScript can refer elements by using name. It's very, very simple. What JavaScript can do on body load, I want to access image. What is the image name? Pic.src. Pic is an image. Pic.src. Pic.src is equal to just pic. That's it. src is equal to, so it is in public, it is in images, it is shoe.jpg, and you can see that again the image is there. I want to adjust the width. Simply pic.width is equal to some 200. It will put the width. This is very simple. That means you can refer any element just by using a name. So JavaScript can refer elements by using a name, but again, problems are there here. The problems are, what is the problem with this name reference is you cannot access any child element directly. Every time to access a child, you have to refer its parent. That is compulsory. That is one major problem. But if it is an element not in a child hierarchy, it's easy. Image is there, it is working, you can easily use it. But if you are using name, now how it works is, see, suppose I want to access this button. And what is the button name? BTN register. I am accessing BTN register dot value is equal to register. We are applying. Now you can see that it is not working. Why? Because that button is present in a form. Form is its parent. So without referring the parent, you cannot refer the child. That means if I have to define, then FRM register dot BTN register. That means we have to refer the parent in the parent child. Then you can see it is going to display that. It is going to handle that. So it is working fine. So that means you have parent-child hierarchy. Suppose I want to access FRM login. In FRM login, BTN login, this BTN login value is login. Now you can see it will be login. Now there is no problem. There is no problem even you change the position of any element. That means you see now I am going to the design and I am changing the position of this button from here and I kept here. Until or unless you change complete parent-child hierarchies. Now you kept here and you can see now it's okay, fine, no problem. So you can refer elements by using name. What is the advantage of referring element? You don't need a DOM hierarchy. And any element position changes, it will automatically update. You don't need to manually update, which is a problem in the previous technique. By using DOM hierarchy, that is a problem. So the second technique is refer by name. What is the drawback of refer by name? You cannot access any child element directly. Another problem is that. Another problem is, so HTML elements can have same name, can have same name for multiple elements. So same name for multiple elements. You can say HTML can have same name for multiple elements. That is important. HTML can have same name for multiple elements. That means same name can be given for another element. Then problem. That means radio buttons. In radio buttons, every radio button must have same name. In a category, all radios must have same name. If the same name is given for multiple elements, then it becomes a problem. It cannot refer. For example, you see, this is pic. Suppose I am having, so in the next line, I am having another image name, this name also pic. And for this, I given width is equal to some 300. And border is equal to some 1. And height is equal to 200. And you can see there is another image, but both are not working now. Why both are not working here? Because now it has a confusion in that names. Because both are pic only. So which one? It is difficult. And you can see both are having same name, then problem. Then different name, then okay, this is pic, this is pic 2, something. Now it will apply for the first one. And for the second one, you have to write again. But if both have the same name, then problem, it will not work. So one of the main drawback you have to face with this name reference is same name problems. But many times, if you don't have problem of name similarities, then you can go with this technique. So it's not like you have to use only DOM hierarchy. You can use DOM hierarchy. You can use reference by name. Both can be used in one program. That means some elements you can refer by name because they are independent and it is easy to refer by name. Some elements you can refer by DOM hierarchy if you want. So this is another example. Same index.js logic will change. Index.js logic will change and index.html is same. Index.html same, but additionally what we have done, additionally we applied an name attribute for everybody. That is the point. You can refer by using name. So two reference techniques are there. JavaScript can take control over HTML elements in two ways. One is by using DOM hierarchy. Another one by using what? Name, reference by name. These are the two techniques. What is problem in name? You saw that. That means if I want to access elements at lengthy hierarchy, then without referring to parent, you cannot access. Suppose, imagine you are accessing a table cell. Then what we have to do? Table cell is present in a row. You have to access row. Row is present in some table body. You have to access table body. Table body is present in table. You have to access table. That's a lengthy hierarchy. That means you have to use table, in table T body, in T body T row, in T row TD. This is lengthy hierarchies. That is the problem with name reference. Then what you can do is JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using ID. They can refer HTML elements by using ID. Actually, for that, JavaScript provides JavaScript provides a method. JS provides a method called document.getElementById. By using this method, what is advantage? You can access any element from any level of hierarchy. That is what advantage of this. Document get element by ID. That means you can access any element from any level of hierarchy. That is the advantage. That means you don't need to worry about parent and child. That is good. That is the reason you may be seeing many times people using this technique. But this is not only the technique. So without ID reference also, we don't use ID several times because it's waste of time using ID. Because if independent elements are there, name is very simple. Just refer the name and access. You can use ID reference. ID reference, that means now let's remove this logic. Okay. Now you can see all are empty again. Now what we can do is for every HTML element, you can put an ID now. We can put an ID. ID name both can be same. It doesn't matter. Suppose I say pick. And what is the ID for this button? ID for this button is BTN register. And what is the ID for another button? The ID is BTN register. You don't need to give the ID for forms, because which element you want to refer, give that element. Why? Because here hierarchy is not a problem. Without hierarchy, you can easily access. That means now what you can do here. So here we can simply go to the logic and I use document.getElementById. Get element by ID, which element? Pick. Pick is an image, then it should have an SRC. SRC is same, public images, so show.jpg. And you can see the image is applied here. Now I want to access button, then same document get element by ID, BTN register. No need to refer the form. You can directly access the element. Dot value is equal to register. Then it will get and it will put register. So we have document dot get element by ID, BTN login. So login dot value is equal to what it is, login. And you can see login is also there. It is BTN login. Where is it? ID not given. Let's check that. So yeah, for this also I given register only, na? BTN login. And you can see now it is going to handle that login also. You can refer the elements by using DOM hierarchy, or you can refer the elements by using name, or you can refer the elements by using ID. So you can use anything. So what is advantage of this? What is advantage is without having lengthy reference, you can access. Now, what is drawback with this? This also have drawbacks. So what is the drawback with ID reference? ID reference. Actually, ID reference have a conflict with CSS IDs. Because CSS also can have an ID. And CSS ID can be same for several elements. Several elements can use same ID. Then again problem will come. That means in CSS, ID can same ID can be defined for multiple elements. That means multiple elements can use same ID reference. You have CSS type reference, class reference, ID reference, CSS selectors. That means now it is going to handle by using this technique. This is again a problem. So the problem is conflict with CSS IDs, and sometimes IDs also may be common. That is the problem with IDs. So that is the reason you can't say this is best. Depending on situation, depending on requirement, we use various. We use type selector. We use DOM hierarchy. We use reference by name, and we use reference by IDs. Reference by ID. So how do we use reference by ID? This is an example for that. And ID also have some problems. Example, so we are making some changes. Index.js. In index.js, this is the logic this time. And I copy that logic and I can use another index.html. In index.html, for every element, you can give an ID, which element you want to access. So this is a third technique, how you can access. Next important, so we have number 4. JavaScript can access HTML elements by using CSS selectors. It can access by using CSS selectors. I hope you have learned CSS selectors. CSS selectors, so many types are there. We have primary selectors. Primary selectors means you have type selector, ID selector, class selector. So you have rational selectors. Rational selectors means child selector, adjacent selector, siblings, so many selectors are there. You have attribute selectors. These are all CSS. Attribute selectors. You have pseudo classes. You have dynamic pseudo classes. Right? Structural pseudo classes. Structural pseudo classes. Element state pseudo classes. Element state pseudo classes. Validation state pseudo classes. These are all CSS selectors. If you learn CSS, you know all these selectors. CSS have a lot of selectors, and by using these selectors, you can access. JavaScript also can use these selectors. That is good. JavaScript can access these selectors and they can define. For example, suppose, what is the query selector here? See, I will how we can access that. For that, it uses a method. So JavaScript uses the method document.querySelector. It uses document.querySelector. This query selector can access elements by using their CSS reference techniques. So that means, for example, so here you can see, I want to remove this logic. Yeah. Again, all are empty. Now, how to access image? We can use directly document.querySelector. Query selector, type selector, IMG. IMG is a type selector. Type selector means which type of element it is. IMG SRC is equal to public slash images slash some shoe.jpg. That is working fine. That means you can see it's there. Suppose I want to access ID. That means document.get query selector. Query selector. Here hash btn register. That is the ID of button. In CSS, IDs are referred by using an hash. And SRC, this is value. Value is what? Register. You can apply that. You can see it works. Suppose I want to access by using any class. For example, this element, this button is having a class. So you know you can apply bootstrap classes and all. Suppose it is a BTN. And it is BTN suppose login. That's a class actually. Two classes are here now. BTN is one class, BTN login is another class. Now what I am doing in the logic here is I'm accessing document.query selector. What is it? Class selectors are referred with dot BTN login. So and dot value is equal to login. And you can see here a login is there. Any class name you can use. You can use BTN or you can use BTN login. Both classes are being used by it. That means you can access elements by using CSS selectors. For example, so later you will see more things. For example, I want to access some element like this. Suppose in a form, suppose there is a option here. I will create a simple now. In this now, I am having a div. In this div, I am having a span. I want to apply, or in this, I am having an image. And this image is having width 300 and height 200 like this. There is another image at another place. But it is present in some other location. Now, how we can write the logic here? So I'm accessing image. But why this image is not accessible? Because it is present in some other hierarchy. Actually, the hierarchy is, it is present in a now in a div image. Then you can see we can access document dot. This is not complete. Just I'm showing you idea, because for that we need to learn some more. One is query selector. So now it is now in the now div in the div image. And dot src, it will have public slash images slash shoe dot jpg like this. I am applying for that. That means that is the second one. That means this time it is present in a different hierarchy. You know, these are called child selectors. In CSS, how to refer an image present in specific location? We will use parent-child hierarchies, right? Adjacent selectors, descendant selectors. These are all different types of CSS selectors. By using CSS selectors, you can access this. That is what we use query selector. Query selector. So this is a very important one, how we can use the query selectors. So example for that is, so we have same index.js. In index.js, this is the logic. That is index.js. And we have index.html. Index.html, here we have, this is another one. This is different types of references. This is only one category. There is another category which is used for referring multiple elements by tag name, by class name, but that requires knowledge of arrays. That means how you can access multiple elements. This is accessing specific element. I want all forms. I want all headings. I want all paragraphs. Then for that, some more selectors are there. As of now, these are enough. These are because they are used for selecting specific element. In JavaScript, there are other techniques for selecting multiple elements. For multiple elements, you need to know arrays concept. Then you can understand and handle with multiple elements. So JavaScript can refer HTML elements in how many ways? It can refer HTML elements in 4 by using DOM hierarchy first technique, by using DOM hierarchy, and by using name, and by using ID reference, and by using query selector. Query selectors are nothing but CSS selectors. By using CSS selectors, you can define them. These are all reference techniques. There are other techniques actually. So JavaScript provides, later you will learn, not now. And that is JavaScript provides various techniques to access multiple elements that requires knowledge of array. Like we have document bot, get elements by tag name. We have like document dot get elements by class name. We have like document dot get elements by name. All these are different hierarchies. And you see plural means it is returning multiple elements. That means a plural word you see means that means it is returning multiple, not one. It is going to return multiple options. These are the various techniques of managing. So how you can access the elements, how you can manage the elements by using DOM hierarchies. So this you will learn later while working with array concept. But up to this, I hope everyone is clear. These are all the techniques how JavaScript takes control. So you learn two things now. One is how JavaScript is integrated into page. And second one, how JavaScript can take control over HTML. Now, how JavaScript can handle. Now, another important, you need to know how JavaScript can handle input and output activities. Because every programming language deals with input and output, means how it will take values from you, how it will process those values, and how it is going to present output. That means for that, we have a lot of input and output techniques. So what are the various input and output techniques of JavaScript? We have to learn. That we will see in next session. Because today, every Saturday, we will have doubt session. So on that week, whatever we discuss, we'll have a doubt session. We will take doubts from the people if you have any doubts after discussing few topics. Okay, no? Right. In the next session, we will learn about input and output, how to handle JavaScript input and output techniques. First, you need to practice this, right? So offline people, you can bring your laptops, you can simultaneously practice while we are doing, right? Online people, they can get back to me after the class is done so that we can see what problems they are facing. Okay. So then Monday we will continue, right? If any doubts are there, let me know. I will get back to you, right? Yeah. Online people, any doubts are there, you can raise your hand so that I can get back to you. Yes, Naresh, what is your doubt?
Hello?
Yes, Naresh.
Hi, sir. After completing of JavaScript, will you start React also?
That is not a part of this course, but React batch will start mostly by next week. It will start.
From you, sir, or other
batches? Yeah, my batch will be starting.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Pawan.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు ఈ 4 మెథడ్లు ఏది యూజ్ చేయాలి సార్?
Depends on requirement. I already told you now.
ఓకే
Right.
అంటే సార్ ఇప్పుడు డాక్యుమెంట్ డాట్ ఐడి ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్,
That depends on requirement. If you don't have ID, then you have to go with name. If you don't have name, then you have to go with other techniques. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this bootstrap is combination of HTML and JavaScript.
HTML and CSS.
Okay, sir.
HTML,
They-
CSS. It uses
There won't
jQuery
apply any
also.
JavaScript.
It uses
Okay.
jQuery, not JavaScript.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, thanks, sir.
Yeah. If you have doubts, you can stay. Otherwise, you can leave. All right.
Yeah, hi sir, good morning.
Good morning, Surya.
Sir, without learning HTML and CSS, can we go ahead and learn this JavaScript?
No, not at all recommended.
So we can go ahead and
You need knowledge of HTML and CSS. CSS, okay, if you don't have also, but HTML is mandatory.
okay.
No?
So without HTML, we can't go with
How you can work?
Okay.
No, it's not possible. No?
Yeah.
No.
So like I have some basic knowledge on HTML.
If you have basic knowledge on HTML, I hope you understood what I written today.
Yes.
Right. That's enough.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
సార్ ఈ క్లాస్ లో jQuery కూడా చదువుతారా సార్? ఓన్లీ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్?
Only JavaScript.
jQuery
We will give introduction to jQuery.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Sir, when will be your full stack UI class? Next class.
Yes, Ravinder.
When will be your full stack UI class?
Full stack UL class, it will take 1 week, 10 days time.
Okay. Can we access previous class videos? Previous class videos.
Previous class video already admin posted in the chat room. Check once.
Not this previous full stack UI classes.
Previous full stack not possible. Videos are not provided for UI full stack.
Sir,
For UI full stack, videos are not provided. Okay, na?
Okay.
Yes, Sachin.
Yesterday we discussed about that meme type. So
Yes.
I'm having confused there, like how it is how it's going to work.
How it is going to work?
Like as you said, like in the in the script we define like type like text backslash JavaScript. So like in the browser, like how it's like
Browser engine, rendering engine, you haven't learned them in HTML?
Yeah, I learned that, sir.
Then that is what the answer is, right? You know already answer. You know rendering engines, right?
Yes.
You know answer, right?
Okay.
Hello, sir.
React will start evening 7:30.
Hi,
Confirm
sir.
it will start mostly by next week. Next week it will start.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Do you teach Angular or just React?
So here we are just having JavaScript. This batch is JavaScript batch.
Oh no, another time. I mean, I
another
have not
time
seen Angular.
any another batch Angular will start. Please go.
Okay. Another question. I made a payment 2 days ago, but I haven't got a link. Oh, I seen the videos, but notes. So do I get it eventually? I know starting Monday, different access. So how will I get it?
I will provide a Google Classroom. You got Google Classroom ID?
No.
No,
Not
I
yet.
will post the Google Classroom ID where you will get all the classroom related notes. Huh?
All right. Thank
You can go through that Google Classroom. I will send an invitation link here.
Okay.
You can join that Google Classroom. There I will upload the previous class videos also.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So for everyone, I am sending there in the chat box. You can go through. I hope everyone got this. Huh?
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is a DOM. Is it just an overview or it's actually started this?
What?
A DOM concept, it is actually started or it is just an overview of that DOM?
Already you haven't learned any DOM in HTML? Actually, HTML starts with DOM, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it is starting in JavaScript? Huh?
No, sir.
DOM is a concept starts from JavaScript, HTML, not JavaScript. Huh? HTML presents DOM.
No, sir. We will manipulate.
Who is waiting? At
Yeah.
what time? Who sent you here? Yes.
No, sir. We are manipulating that.
We are manipulating DOM means you already presented DOM, na? How you presented the DOM? HTML.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
HTML presents the DOM.
Yeah, HTML will present, but we will manipulate using JavaScript. No?
We manipulate. We will learn so many things about it. Don't worry. Yeah.
That's what.
Okay. This is just beginning. Huh?
Okay. We will continue that later.
We will continue. Huh?
Okay.
Hello. Hi. Good morning, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible? Yes. Hi.
Yes.
Good morning,
Yes.
sir.
You are audible. Yes. Yes. Anyone have doubt? You can unmute yourself and you can talk.
Hello, sir. Hello. Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sir, JavaScript kuda Visual Studio lone chestara, sir?
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Hello.
Syllabus provide
syllabus you will get from our admin. You will get an email. Okay?
Admin actually మీరే ఇస్తారు డెమో సెషన్ లో ఒకసారి అడగండి అని చెప్పారు సార్.
They will send you. Okay, by the end of demos you will get. Okay.
Okay, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Morning.
सर मुझे एक डाउट है, जो 4 बजे का बैच चल रहा है ना अभी CSS जावास्क्रिप्ट और
सेम नहीं
HTML
है,
का,
डिफरेंट है. उसमें लिमिटेड सिलेबस होता है, ये सेपरेट है.
ओके सर. उसमें सर ES6 के फीचर्स रहेंगे क्या उस बैच में?
इंट्रोडक्शन ही होते हैं.
ओके ओके. डिटेल में नहीं
वो
पढ़ाया
बैच
जाएगा,
आपके लिए नहीं है, वो सेपरेट यहाँ कोर्स करने वाले के लिए है. लिमिटेड सिलेबस है.
ओके ओके ठीक है सर. ఓకే.
సార్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ అండి. సార్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్
సార్. నాకు డౌట్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు రియాక్ట్ కి ల్యాండింగ్ కర్వ్ డైరెక్ట్ గా అంటే డామ్ తోనే హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తాం కదా. రియాక్ట్ వాట్ మై పాయింట్ ఈస్ యాంగులర్ కేమో టైప్ స్క్రిప్ట్ షుగర్ కోటెడ్ లాగా వస్తుంది కదా సార్. దానికి
ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎందుకు టెన్షన్ పడుతున్నారు దాని గురించి? నీ అవసరం లేదనుకుంటాను. జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ మీద ఏమైనా డౌట్లు ఉంటే రండి. ఓకేనా?
దాని గురించి కదా అంటే ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్
రియాక్ట్ యాంగులర్ గురించి మీతో డిస్కస్ చేయడానికి మీకు ఏమైనా వచ్చి ఉంటే చేయొచ్చు. ఓకేనా?
అలా కాదు సార్ నేను అడిగేది. ల్యాండింగ్ కర్వ్ ఇక్కడ నేర్చుకున్నాక ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్
ఆఫ్టర్ యూ లర్న్ జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ దెన్ యూ కెన్ స్టార్ట్ లర్నింగ్ అబౌట్ రియాక్ట్ అండ్ యాంగులర్. ఓకే.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Hello. Good morning, sir. मुझे
morning.
पूछना था कि
Yes.
जैसे जावास्क्रिप्ट का इन डेप्थ क्लास जो चल रहा है,
हाँ.
इसमें आप जो इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जैसे कि वो लॉजिकल
सब interview
प्रोग्रामिंग
questions, logical programming, competitive programming, everything we will have here.
ओके ओके एंड
Right?
सर
All competitive programming also we will see. That means how
Okay.
they ask in interviews. Huh?
लाइक सॉर्टिंग एंड ऑल.
Yes, yes, everything. Huh?
और सर जैसे मैंने आपका रिएक्ट का ऑलरेडी क्लास किया है तो
हाँ.
इट वाज वेरी बेस्ट लाइक सो लाइक आपका एंड्रॉइड का कब होने वाला है, लाइक इज देयर एनी डेट फॉर एंड्रॉइड? सॉरी नॉट
Android,
एंड्रॉइड, नो एंगुलर, सॉरी.
Angular.
यस यस.
Angular batches separate. They will start. As of now, there is no Angular batch new.
आपका कोई एंगुलर पेज? ओके ओके ठीक.
Right. As of now, it's not there. Huh?
ओके ओके थैंक यू.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good morning. You told for in 45 sessions it will be completed, no, sir?
Huh.
So this will be calculated this whole 5 days as well, or
Yes,
it will be
yes,
from
yes.
Monday? Okay.
And don't be very strict with only 45. Here and there, 1 week, maybe more also. Huh?
Yeah, no problem.
Right?
Okay.
Because
sir.
you are calculating
your
very
JavaScript
sharply,
in
right?
depth will start.
So because the thing is,
1 week
again,
here and there,
work
I
will be
think you
there,
can
so-
bear it. Huh?
Yeah,
If
no
you can't
problem.
adjust 1 week, then I think you can't fit into this type of batches. Huh?
No, sir. It is
Exactly
like,
45
planning
days
will
means
be
we
there,
will not
so-
end on 45th day. Huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Sir, good morning.
Morning.
Just wanted to ask,
Yes.
are you planning to run any batches in the early morning? That is 7 to 9.
Early morning, as of now, it will take time. As of now, we can't start. It will take at least 1 month time for early morning batch.
But definitely there will be some courses, right?
Not sure. Huh?
Okay. Because just I'm working and so following this time,
Okay.
getting
So
difficulty.
we will plan. So mostly it will take time, but it will take time. It will take at least 1 month of time. Huh?
Okay.
Sir, good morning.
Morning.
Sir, actually, I also have the same problem that during that 9 a.m. batch, that timing issues. So, do you have any other batch, sir, which is going?
We will check once. We will check how many people are facing the timing issue. Based on that, we will try to shuffle that, and we will check the timings with other people also. Then we will plan a suitable timing if possible. Otherwise, you have to wait for any another batch starts during 7 a.m. It will take time.
Okay, sir. Okay. I want to join your batch only, sir, in depth.
It may take time to start at the same time, 7.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Sir, what is a package lock JSON and package difference?
It is it is metadata.
No, package lock.json and
package lock JSON is used for npm start and npm init, which you will learn in later stages while learning with webpacks.
Okay. And how about package.json, sir?
Webpack. While learning webpack, you will learn. Already package JSON, I told you, it is metadata.
No, I not understood that actually.
Metadata means information about the dependencies, version, and the project that you are currently working. You are there in that class?
Yeah, I was there.
I explained very detailedly about that. Otherwise, go through the video. Okay.
Okay. And how about lock.json, sir?
You will learn in webpack concept.
Okay, that will come in that part.
Okay.
And are we learning any server-side Node.js here, sir? In this,
we are not learning any server-side Node.js. We are learning JavaScript. This is JavaScript class.
But
this is not Node.js, Angular, React, MongoDB classes. Okay, na? We are learning JavaScript suitable for others, and server-side programming, how it happens, we will have an introduction. Okay.
Okay. Are you while learning, sir, doing any projects on this?
How many projects you want? One is enough?
No, concept-wise, once we finish.
Concept-wise, that is not called as project. POCs.
Okay.
Concept-wise projects will not be there in anywhere in the world, right? Concept-wise POCs will be there. You know POCs?
No, sir.
No, you will learn about them. Continue. Okay. That means topic wise,
Hmm.
you will have exercises and POCs. Okay.
Okay. On small task means we will,
Those are called POCs. Okay.
okay. Then
So,
only we will get perfect.
so POC means there is a personalization of content, or you?
That means scenarios, how they
Yeah.
implement in real world, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, actually, I am having one doubt that if we are having that strict mode on, by which we are getting type safety, then why we are having TypeScript, sir?
What type?
Sir, we are enabling strict mode in our JavaScript, which gives us type safety. Then why we are having TypeScript, sir?
That is not type safety. TypeScript is a noob language. JavaScript is not a noob language.
Okay, both are totally different.
Not totally different. Lot of variations are there.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Right.
सर पावर बीआई के बारे में थोड़ा बताइएगा सर।
पावर बीआई मैं नहीं जानता, जो उनके पास जो जानता है उससे पूछो।
ओके सर, ओके सर।